Today is Monday, December 16th, and this is the ADM Investor Services Weekly Market Kickoff. Please note that the views and opinions expressed here today are solely those of our guests and should not be construed as the views or opinions of ADM Investor Services or Archer Daniels Midland Company. Today's guests are Steve Freed, Vice President of Grain Research at ADMIS, and Alan Bush, ADM Investor Services Senior Financial Economist. Alan, let's start with the financials this morning, particularly the currency markets. How would you trade the currency markets right now?
Well, to be short, I would say I would not be trading them at all. And the reason is that interest rate differential expectations offer no clear advantage to any currency. Of course, there are some political moves that tend to move currencies, but central banks appear to be on hold now, maybe with a slight bias to more easing. So I think there are much better opportunities elsewhere than in the currencies. Also, the same story with the interest rate futures markets. I would avoid those as well.
So if there are limited trading opportunities in the currencies and in interest rates, where should traders focus their attention?
Okay, there are, I think, quite a few advantages lining up to the long side of the industrial commodities. That would be the copper, the crude oil, even the lumber starting to show a bit of an advance. Other industrial commodities, in fact, all of the industrial commodities, I think, are headed higher. And it looks like the low interest rate environment that we have seen for so many years has finally done its intended job to at least stabilize the economy globally. So I could see the crude oil getting up to 63, and I could see the copper getting up to 285.
Now, the seasonal direction in December for stock index futures is higher. Will the seasonal tendency continue to work this year?
Yes, I think it will. It's performed very well this December. Of course, not that much left this month, but I think the trend will continue the same with higher prices. In fact, some new historical highs today in some of the indices. So yes, the seasonal for December, I think, will follow through, showing higher prices this year, and I would not be surprised to see some follow-through gains early next year.
Steve, let's talk a little bit about the U.S.-China trade deal. Are we close to a deal, and if so, what does this mean for grain prices?
According to the White House, according to the U.S. trade reps, and according to the Chinese, we do have a deal, and the Chinese have agreed starting in 2020 for 2 years to buy $40 billion of U.S. ag goods and a total of $200 billion of all U.S. exports. The ag's good, the most they've ever bought was in 2017 at $24 billion. So the trade head said that they will not release the commodity numbers yet, and so the market is still guessing, but we think that it's going to be a large amount of soybeans. It could be corn, it could be ethanol, it could be DDGs. There should be a lot of pork. There should be maybe some beef and chicken parts. Could even be some dairy products. And I think that when you consider that China imports $130 billion of all global ag goods, this is now increasing U.S. share to 31%. I think it's a big deal. When we look back at rallies in this year, we've had $2 rally in beans and one 50-cent rally in corn. So that would put March beans at $9.70, March corn at $4.20, and wheat's breaking out today, making new highs for the move. It would put Chicago March wheat at $5.70. So I think that's where we're going based on the deal.
Now the most important question, should farmers sell a deal rally?
Yes. I think that when we look at still 2020, farmers are going to increase corn and soybean acres from last year. If we have normal weather, then you should see stocks go up, even if China's buying. Right now there's not a problem in South America, and there's not a forecast of any weather problem in the Northern Hemisphere in 2020. So I think these, if we reach these prices, they're good places for farmers to sell.
But I think it's safe to say that all brokers should be talking to their farmer customers right now.
Yeah, on Friday we put out on several written things that it's a perfect time to call not only farmers but end users and just get people involved in risk management because this is one of those things that doesn't happen every year, and it's a good time for people to manage risk.
Speaking of consumers of grain, should they be buying the rumor of a trade deal between U.S. and China?
I think so. You can do things in options, you can do things in the cash, but you just don't want to be caught flat-footed at these price levels if there's a weather problem in 2020.
Speaking of weather, Steve, what's the latest South American weather forecast and 2020 crop outlook?
Brazil conditions are very good. There's a little bit of dryness in northeast Brazil, but overall conditions are good. Argentina's been struggling because it's drier than normal, and you kind of see people lowering some of their estimates of the Argentine crops, which could help the meal market because they're the number one trader of meal in the world. But I think that at the end of the day, the short-term trade is being long into the deal, and then the long-term trade is selling the deal.
And the next USDA report is when?
January 10th, and we get a lot of data. We'll get the final U.S. Crop production numbers, DIS-1 stocks, and then we'll also get the first estimate of 2020 U.S. winter wheat acres. And the DIS-1 corn stocks will be critical because the last report was bullish. And so if they follow up with a bullish DIS-1 corn stocks, that puts a little bit of support underneath the corn market.
Thank you both. Remember, the views and opinions expressed today on this video are solely those of our guests and should not be construed as the views or opinions of ADM Investor Services or Archer Daniels Midland Company. If you'd like more information about our brokerage services, would like to speak to one of our experts about managing your risks, or would like to open a trading account, please visit www.admis.com.